Hello, happy Mother's Day to us survivors and mothers, to the ones that are breaking the cycle of abuse. Happy Mother's Day to you. I am a mother. I have a son. He will be 20. He has autism and other disabilities, and I love being a mom. I don't regret it. I, I don't regret having him. If I could do it all over again, I would want to have my son because I love him so much. But I promised you all a video on Mother's Day, so here I am. So I'm just going to record a quick video for YouTube because my phone only allows me 20 minutes. It's saying so. This is for YouTube. And I will be going live on Facebook. And on Facebook, I'm going to record a longer video. Today, I wanted to say why I decided to go no contact with my mom. I think it's been about 2 weeks now, or 2.5 weeks. I believe my mom is a narcissist. I don't want to say she is because I'm not a doctor, but I believe she is a covert or vulnerable narcissist, but more of the covert narcissist. Um, and today I just wanted to talk about why I decided to go no contact, what my breaking point was, and it does revolve around my son and how she took guardianship of him twice from me. But I'm going to tell that story on Facebook Live because I have more time to talk about it. So I still find myself feeling sorry for my mom. Um, and because she has been through some stuff in her life, and I don't think my grandmother really supported her. I even remember my aunt telling me about twice, telling me, your mom was horrible. She was bad. She treated our mom horrible, and she was a bad teenager. Maybe she wasn't, something happened to her, and her mom wasn't there. She didn't give her support. So I find myself feeling bad for her, and I still feel guilty. And when I do think about that, it makes me cry, and I feel horrible. Um, yeah, this is not easy uh, because I do want to be there for her. I want to support her. I want to show her that there's someone out there that cares about her and someone that loves her. Um, so yeah, but so I'm just going to tell what my breaking point was and why I decided to go no contact with her. Well, quickly, I'm going to say she took guardianship of my son twice, but I'm going to go into more detail about that on my Facebook page when I go live. The first time she lied, second time she lied to the courts. And it's funny how they believe the narcissist, and I had to prove myself. They believed her words, but I had to come back and prove myself. How is that even possible without proof? She had no proof. Um, but yeah, I was in college the first time she did it, and I found out about the court date. I don't know. I had this gut feeling when your body tells you something, listen to your body. But I took my son to a doctor's appointment. I was at his doctor's appointment, and as I was leaving, I saw a flyer with legal help. So I don't know, something told me in my gut to grab this flyer, give them a call, you're going to need it. And I knew, and this was when I knew something was wrong with my mom even more, but I didn't quite know what was wrong with her. But I always knew something was wrong with my mom, even as a child. But as I got older, I still knew, but I didn't quite know what. So I got that flyer and I called the number and someone from that flyer told me you have a court date coming up. You and they told me my mom's name. So I was like, what? And they told me the date, and I was there, and she was like, what are you doing here? She was so surprised. She did not want me there. She didn't tell me about the court date, nothing like that. She was like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm here for the court date, for my son. And she went into her rage, of course, but she couldn't get too angry in public, so she had to watch herself. So she was whispering to me, why don't you just leave? You should just leave and just let me have your son. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not going to happen. So I just walked away from her. I that's what I did a lot. I just walked away from her. And she sort of tricked me and left the courtroom and said she wasn't going to stay. There's no point in me being here if you're here. So it was finals because I was in college. So I was thinking maybe I can go back to my class and take my finals and I won't fail my course. So I believed my mom was leaving the courtroom and and she was leaving. She actually took the elevator downstairs and I went with her on the elevator. I left, went to school, took my exams, because my mom was my babysitter. I had no one else to babysit my son, or no one else I trusted, because my son has disabilities. I don't want to leave him with someone that harms him, and he can't verbally tell me if something is happening. So I trusted my mom to babysit him, and now that I think of it, maybe I shouldn't have trusted an abuser to babysit my son. You know, But I went back to pick him up to bring him home, and she said, "You can't take him." So, it was a whole scene. I'm trying to go through this fast because of the time, but there was a whole scene, and she called the police. She didn't even show me the paperwork. The police had to show it to me. She could have just showed me the paper, and I would have left and figured out what I had to do, but she wanted to make a scene. So, yeah. So that's some of the story of how she took guardianship of my son the first time. She lied to the court. She told them I was using drugs. I've never used drugs a day in my life. That's just something that I don't like to do. I don't even like smoking cigarettes. I do drink alcohol. I'm a social drinker on the weekends, maybe once a month, but no drugs, no smoking cigarettes. So she lied. She said she didn't know my address. And she was recently at my house visiting me and Jonathan about a week before she had the court date, smiling in my face, like the song goes, smiling in your face and all the time trying to take your place. Smiling in my face at my address. She knew where I lived, but the courts believed her and she got guardianship. That's how she did the first time. So and I was thinking that my mom is the only one that did this to me, but I have heard about two stories from some people in Facebook groups that their mom did the same thing or was trying to do that. So if your mom has done something similar, or dad has done something similar, I would like to hear your stories and have you all to share in the comments. But recently, why I wanted to go no contact is because she was trying to do that again for a third time. So me and my son moved to a different state. We live in the same state as my brother does. So we moved to this state and my mom didn't like it. She's the controlling type as well. She wants us near her. She wants us to do most of everything for her. She wants us to answer every time she calls, even if we're working. No boundaries. So we moved, and I knew I didn't want my mom to have my address. So I told my brother, don't give mom my address, but I did give it to my brother just in case of emergencies. So I was trying to go low contact and only talk to her maybe once a month uh, on certain days. And if it wasn't that time or that day, I would not answer her phone calls or her text messages at all. So she started to get angry. At first, it was the love bombing, and then she started to get angry. And she was saying things like in her text messages, I sent your pictures and your son's pictures to the new news outlets, and everyone is looking for you. I hired a private investigator, and they're going to find you, and they're going to find your address for me. I just want to know if Jonathan's okay. You know? So when she kept doing that and she did it again, she's like, okay, I hired a private investigator, and they know where you are, and someone told me where you live. I don't have time to deal with that anymore. I just want to live my life peacefully. Why can't I live my own life peacefully and communicate with my mom and talk to her and work and have a job and take care of my son? Why does she wants my son with her? She would say things like, "Why don't you leave your son with me? With me, let me take care of him." The reason I believe, I think I said in an older video, is because she wants my son to be more of her golden child or her golden grandchild. Because me and my brother, we really didn't have the golden child role. We went back and forth depending on her mood and depending on who was listening to her or doing whatever she wanted us to do at that time. If we were doing everything she wanted us to do, if we always answered her phone calls, if we always ran to her whenever she needed us, even for something as simple as taking out the garbage for her. If we were doing everything for her and doing everything she said, we were the golden child. Um, that moment when we start to have our own lives and we say, "No, mom, I can't right now because I'm at work. I can't right now. I'm at a doctor's appointment. I have a dental appointment." She gets angry at you. She gets mad at you. She says, "Oh, well, just forget it then. I'll just ask your sister or your brother to do it for me. They do everything for me anyway. You don't ever do anything for me." So it went back and forth with me and my brother. So it just depends on that. And I guess when me and him both moved out of the state she lives in, we moved further away from her. So we are no longer the golden children, but she does try the triangulation with us, and she tries to tell us things like, "Your brother said this, your sister said that, and they said that about you, they said this about you. Why would your sister say that about you? Why would your brother say that about you?" And when I was younger, I fell for it, and I would go to my brother and be like, "Why did you say that about me? What did I do to you?" My brother would be like, "What are you talking about? I didn't say anything about you." And so we learned that our mother was lying and she was trying to pit us against each other. But if we have any family get-togethers, or if me and my brother are both visiting mom at her house, in our when we're together, she doesn't do it. She acts like she's perfect, and she tells us to stick together and make sure we get along with each other and take care of each other. But behind our backs, she talks bad about us and tries to get us to be mad at the other sibling. Which me and my brother, thankfully, we haven't failed for it, and we still talk. But my brother still talks to mom more. I think my brother is more low contact with mom. He knows that there's something wrong with her. So he only talks to her maybe once every 2 weeks, I want to say, once every 3 weeks. He knows there's something wrong with her, but at the same time, he thinks it's normal, and he thinks just the way it is, or that's how she was raised, and that's just how they were back in those days. Um, Abuse is not normal. Let's stop making excuses for these people, and it's not normal, even if they are our parents. I have forgiven my mom, but I realize that I forgive her, but I don't have to have a relationship with her at all. So if you're not ready to forgive, That's okay. That's fine. Don't let anyone tell you you have to forgive your parents or you should because they gave you life. I'm a Christian, by the way. I do believe in God. If you don't, that's fine. That's totally okay. Um, and when people tell me that, I tell them God gave me life. God created me. My mom just carried me and gave me birth. She didn't give me life. God gave me life. So, correction. But yeah. So that's just some of the story of why I went no contact, because going low contact wasn't working. When I go low contact, she's okay for a few weeks or a few days, and then she changes and she starts to become more controlling. Like I said, trying to hire private investigators to find me. She said our pictures was released at the news outlets, and everyone was going to be looking for us. I can't just live my life and work if I'm unable to answer her text messages or her phone calls. And I noticed that she's trying to do the same with my son and my nephew. Um, my nephew lives with her, unfortunately, and she has been trying to say things to my nephew to make him feel like Jonathan is better than he is. He's so good. He listens to me very well. He's the best grandson ever. And she'll say things to my nephew like, "You are just like your mom. You're so mean and you yell at me a lot. Why do you do this to me?" And she'll do certain things like she'll push my nephew's buttons. And he's 6, by the way, he's a child. And she acts like she's 6 years old. She'll push his buttons and get him upset. He's not doing anything. He's over here playing, minding his business, and she'll push his buttons, get him upset because she's bored or something. I don't know. And then she'll call her best friend forever, or her flying monkey on the phone, put on speakerphone after she made my nephew mad just to play a victim. Oh, listen to him. Listen to how he talks to his grandmother, one that's taking care of him. His mother is gone and I'm the only one taking care of him. I'm doing it all by myself. My kids don't want to help me. Boo hoo. Listen to him. Listen. But what they don't know is they don't know what she was doing before she called you on the phone. They don't know, and they fall for it. And goodness, I have to go fast because of the timer. But I just wanted to record a short video for YouTube about how my mom took guardianship of my son and why I decided to go no contacts instead of low contacts. And if you want to see the full story and you want to see me talk more about it, you can follow my Facebook page. It's called Narcissism in Our Mothers. And yeah, and you can like this video, share it, subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to like it, that's fine, totally fine. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine as well. But I'm just trying to share my life about my mom with everyone so you'll know that you're not alone. This is your validation. Like, yes, it really happened. You're not crazy. I'm not crazy. And until next time, let's support each other. Be kind. Um, yeah, let's support each other and be kind. Let's just come here and talk, because some of us like me, we are alone and we have no one that is there for us. So follow my Facebook for the longer video, and until next time.